you about that Haji Woodson for my uncle in.
Okay, hold on. This one, make sure. Give me this back. Catch it. You know, that's a souvenir from my grandma. You know, she got it from this place called Business Irish. Yeah.
Buenos Aires. Then you can mess a word up.
Yeah, whatever. That's it.
Let me tell you about like the Haji Woodson for my uncle in.
Okay, I'm listening. I like your aunt. You know, she gives nice Christmas gifts. How about the time she gave you a unicycle for Christmas? I almost broke my neck riding. Do you remember one summer she took us to visit the White House? Yo, do you remember the time she made us read the whole book about President Obama? And whoever got all the questions correct on her test got $100. And guess what?
What?
I won, of course. So how about you tell me about Dr. Carla G. Woodson before she comes down really hard on me, bro?
She be coming in there. I don't know where she is.
I gotta make sure I look good. Oh, look, y'all. You look good.
What call she come in?
Call her, please.
Hello? Yeah, you come in now. Oh, sorrow. What's big, bro? Did I do it right? What's so funny? Ain't a 67-year-old lady trying to give somebody the pound? Oh my God.
Please stop. Just stop.
Oh, can I give somebody the pound? Well, Evan, Zorro, my great-great-nephew, did tell you about the party for Carla G. Woodson, didn't he? Right? Right?
He was telling me. You know, he was talking so much about the project that he started doing dead jumpies and dumpies and vampires from other cultures.
Let me. Girl, do you have a beef or something? He was talking about vampires, dumpies, and guppies. Vampires from other cultures. Oh my gracious. And I'm trying to get him a Zorro. And I'm trying to prepare you. Look at all this material I have. Books and notes. I'm just trying to prepare you to be the next Carla G. Woodson. Oh my gracious. And he was talking about what? Vampires? He had some kind of report or something?
Yeah, from other cultures. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know, Evelyn, I don't mean to be so hard on her. You know what, now that I think about it, Carla G. Woodson was sort of like a vampire.
He was?
In a way, he was like a vampire because it was the way he went about soaking up the facts, you know, like it was the blood in his liver.
He was a vampire? Hey, y'all, Zorro, I knew a real vampire. Tell us all about it. Yeah.
Well, Zorro, look like you want to say something. I know why you call him the vampire black history. Why is that a Zorro? Because all his life, knowing and sharing black history was like a vampire drinking blood. Yes. Zorro, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And he was like a vampire of black culture. You have to remember, as a young boy, he was working in the coal mines. And all the time he was soaking up black historical facts. And I have so many facts to tell you about it, Zorro. He was soaking up facts all about soldiers in black history, black soldiers who fought during the Civil War. And he worked in the coal mines in Huntington, West Virginia. I told you I'm preparing you to be the next Carla G. Woodson. Although you're how old now? How old are you? 16? Well, anyway, as I was saying, that was 1892. And he was about 17 then, just a teenager. All the time as I said, he was soaking up the facts. Soaking up the facts like a vampire. A vampire drinking blood.
He worked in the coal mines and still went to school?
Yes, he did, baby girl. He went to school and, oh, I had so many notes. He was 20 before he finished high school.
What?
20 years old.
What?
College he wasn't. And look, he finished high school in 2 years. Is that something? Now, you have to remember, he had to drop out of college twice because he did not have the money. But guess what?
What?
Each time he dropped out, he went back and finished. And finished. See, I want Azar to know all of this because I'm training him to be the next Carter Godwin Woodson. Okay. Did you know he was the first black person to win, well, not the first black person, but the first black person to earn a PhD in black history and to come from ex-slave parents? Yes, he was. And guess where he got his PhD from?
I know. And you know I'm gonna get it right. Let's see here. It was Norfolk State.
No, it was not Norfolk State. No, okay, but it was from the same school as President Obama.
Oh,
The same school he got his law degree from. Now, why am I just looking at Ebony and Azaro? Someone else may know it too. Did I see somebody else's name? Okay, in the black, what's your name?
Carolyn.
Okay.
I know. It was hard. Wrong.
That's right. You got it wrong. Okay. Now, by the way, I'm thinking, did Azaro, Ebony, tell you that we're going to have a contest to see which team knows the most about Carter G. Woodson? A $500 contest?
$500?
You told me to.
What? Truly?
Yes. Did he tell you about that? $500 contest.
$500 he did not. Why didn't you?
Give it to the team who knows the most about Carter G. Woodson.
What?
And I'm looking at you all, okay? Now, I want someone in here to win that prize. I'm looking at you all at the team center. Someone in here to win that prize. I was just going to concentrate on my nephew, who I'm training to be the next Carter G. Woodson. But I want someone in here to win that prize too. Maybe Lazaro, okay? Or maybe Ebony.
You already know.
Or the beautiful girl in the black sweater. What's your name again? Or maybe the beautiful girl in the denim. Okay, and what's your name? Jerry. Or maybe the handsome tall guy in the burgundy jacket. Okay. Now, do you all want me to review you facts about Carter G. Woodson? Do you want me to prepare you all for the contest?
Of course.
Okay. So you gotta listen, you gotta take notes. Okay. And so you agreed to let me prepare you all for this $500 contest. Okay.
Miss Bernice, I don't see why you call him a vampire.
Oh, that's a good question. You say your name was Jerry, right?
Yes.
It was the way Jerry, he went about researching black history. It was like the blood he needed to survive. Okay? Now, that was 75 years of researching black history. 75 years. Now, I want you all to take notes. I want you to take notes because I know you all want that $500. And you can do a lot with that, like you say. Ready for Christmas too? Well, anyway, he researched black history for 75 years. 75 years. And you know what? He spent 75 years showing America, the whole world, that we contributed to American history. We, showing the whole world. We got so many notes to review you all.
Everyone knows he was the father of black history. I know they're going to ask him something harder than that, duh. And I bet everyone knows he started promoting it in 1926. But then you have to go to the school board, or city council, or PTA to get a black history book?
Oh, good thoughts. Did you say your name was Carolyn? Good thoughts, Carolyn. Young lady, let me say this. Those things had not been started back then. There was no PTA in 1926, no city council. But anyway, let me tell you this, because you have to put that in your notes. I get so excited when I talk about Carter G. Woodson. Anyway, he at first had a fraternity during the Black History Week. And that was called, have it in my notes right here, Sigma Phi Pi. Okay? Now, he later changed it to a mega sci-fi. And so now they gave it up, and he got to thinking that maybe I ought to continue Black history. I told you Woodson ought to start continuing him. Okay, so that's what he did. So he wanted to continue. Now, I see y'all taking notes. Oh, you all look so academic. I see some taking notes on their tablet, some on the cell phone, of course, some the regular old way that we used to do at Hampton Institute. Okay.
So better when you smile. So smile. You look so much better when you That's sing along. So
somebody singing. Wait. Wait, young lady. We are trying to review for the $500 contest on Country Woodson, and you are singing. You have a very nice, smooth sounding voice. So you go try out the talent show in Downey Grove and not interfere with my review. This is some serious reviewing, okay? So now, just make sure you take your talent to Downey Grove because they have a teen talent show, okay?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, everything that this young lady says, she got it from me, okay? She got it from me.
There's enough knowledge going around, ladies. You do not have to be so negatively aggressive. We can be positively aggressive as Black women pursuing Black history research.
Of course.
Okay, so.
Well. Did he write any books that you say he was like a vampire of Black history? And where was this vampire born? Did he have to drive a stake through his heart to kill him?
Okay.
That's sarcastic, okay?
Okay, smarty pants.
Okay.
Did they have to drive a stake through his heart to kill him? Okay, smarty pants. He was born, and take this down in your notes. I told you I get so excited when I talk about college Woodson. I'm preparing you all for this contest. So take this down in your notes. He was born about 40 miles from Charlottesville in a place called Buckingham, Virginia. Got that? The actual place is New Canton, okay? There's a monument there marking his birth, December 19, 1875. And make sure you put that down in your notes. I took pictures when I went there. Now, he wrote 23 books.
23?
Yes, 23 books. So make sure you put that down in your notes. Now, the first book he wrote in 1915. Now, that was on the education of the Negro prior to the Civil War. So he wrote that in 1915. Later on, he wrote a book on the Black church. Okay? Now, you have that in your notes? The second book was on the Black church, and that must have been around 1921. Now, he also started, make sure you have this in your notes, he also started the first Black book press, and that was called the Associated Press, and he started that with $400 of his own money.
$400?
Yes, $400 of his own money, so make sure you put that down. Now he wrote also books about the Great Migration, when we left the South and moved to the North, thinking we had better provinces. He wrote that. He also wrote a book on African kings and queens. He thought we should be connected with Africa. He also wrote a book called Africa Outlined. Okay? Now he liked children too. And he wrote a book on African folk tales. He retold African folk tales. Now, he wrote about famous men and women from Africa. But his most famous book, and please put this in your notes, his most famous book was The Miseducation of the Negro. That was written in 1933. Okay, 1933. Hey, wake up over there. I see somebody sleeping in here. Wake up over there. I bet you didn't go to sleep on Black Panther or Brown Mary.
No.
Okay. Now, keep on taking notes. He even wrote the first Black history book for teachers, high school teachers to use in school. Okay?
Yeah, wake up, Pete Pearson. You must don't want to win that 500.
Yeah, PP, wake up. Like she said, you must don't want to win that $500. Like she said.
This is the AB conversation. So see your way off because he jump over here and F you up like a real G.
He fries you. He fries.
I'm sorry.
Oh my
I'm so sorry.
the noise.
I'm so sorry.
Look, let's cut out.
You need to wake up, man.
Look. I had to maintain some order in here. No, this is a team center. Let's cut out the noise. Now, all of you will have a chance to win this $500 and the big trophy.
Yeah, you already know.
All you have to do is take notes and listen. Now, I don't hear yes ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're probably wondering why I asked, well, you're the kid to Pete Pierce. Calvin Pearson. So you say, you know, kid here. Well, anyway, let me tell you about Calvin Pearson. And I have so many notes to give you because I want to connect you all with Carter G. Woodson and with people who are doing something to promote his legacy. There is a guy by the name of, there's a handsome gentleman by the name of Calvin Pearson who has been working for 34 years to get history straight. Now, a lot of people, Calvin Pearson is a person who is actively carrying out the mission of Carter G. Woodson. That is to get our history straight. And what he's done is to make sure that we know that the first Africans came in near Fort Monroe, near Fort Oak Comfort, not Jamestown. So we're very proud of Calvin Pearson and his Project 1619 because he is working on getting the history straight, telling the exact place the first Africans came in, not Jamestown. We're talking about near Fort Monroe, and he's working to build a monument to those Africans. Okay, so he's carrying on the mission of Carter G. Woodson to get our history straight, telling that correctly. Okay.
Okay, Miss Bernice, I can't wait to Google Dr. Carter G. Then go to the website of the organization he founded in 1916. It was called Black History. It still meets today. It is called the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, short to ASALH. We now have a charter branch system chartered in 2013 in the Hampton Roads area. It still meets today. That's why we need to celebrate his birthday just like we celebrate July 4th.
Oh, she has such good maths.
They came for me.
Oh, Andy, let me give her some praise. Can you allow me to call her the little Miss Carter Godwin Woodson?
No.
Can you allow me?
No, but they came for me.
Excellent.
I have to burn me yet.
Yes, Andy. There's a lot of knowledge about Carter G. Woodson to spread around. And you mentioned the Hampton Roads chapter of ASALH.
Yes, I did.
And she mentioned also 1926.
Yes,
excellent, excellent. And you said your name was Carol. Excellent research. Carter G. Woodson is proud of you. Okay, now, I have to tell you all this fact too. Carter G. Woodson, please put this down in your notes. And my great nephew is blowing bubbles while I'm trying to review them for this $500 contest on Carter G. Woodson.
A professional.
Azaro. Let's cut out the bubbles. Let's cut out the bubbles, Azaro. Do I have to call you Robert? Okay. I'm a grace. Anyway, I want one of you all to win this $500 prize to the team who knows the most facts about Carter G. Woodson. I really want somebody here to win. So put down in your notes that he won the spring arm medal. Spring arm. Hope I'm spelling that right. I have it right there in my notes. Spring arm. And correct me if Dr. Elaine, if I'm wrong. Spring arm, SPRINGARN. Spring arm medal. He won that in 1926. And that's still given today to the person who knows the most, who's done the most that year for Black history, the spring arm medal. And Carter G. Woodson won it in 1926. Okay, so, you got that in your notes? Now, Carter G. Woodson did a lot to show America that we were not all, happy slaves, or all men who were lusting after the pretty white blonde woman. He did a lot to show that we contribute to history. Wait a minute. Wait. Let's take off the mask. Azaro, let's take off that mask.
Wait a minute. That is his face. You know he cannot take off his face.
Anyway, let's cut out the banana. Azaro, I'm training you to be the next Carter G. Woodson. Okay, now I'm going to give you a special homework assignment. What you're going to do is research the monkey that went into space, named Enos. Write it down. I want to see you write that down. E-N-O-S. Now, give the monkeys some respect, because if it were not for the monkeys, we would not have had all this sophisticated space exploration. So make sure you give that report on tomorrow. He knows. He knows the monkey went to space. Okay, now.
Space monkey.
Okay, now, you know he's not alive today. Okay? Okay, you know he's not alive today. And now, he died April 3rd, 1950. Put that down. April 3rd, 1950. On the 3rd floor of where he had been staying since 1925. Okay? And he's buried in Lincoln Cemetery in Suitland, Maryland. Okay, make sure you have that. How many pages do you have, Azawa? I got 2. Okay. Emily, you got another question?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is very important to me, of course. Since he was born in Virginia, why would they bury him in Maryland? Isn't it a tradition to be buried in your hometown, correct?
That's good thinking. Good thinking, Ebony. Right. You see what she's saying? He did all his research in Washington. He lived in Washington, but he's buried in Maryland. That's a good question. Now, Ebony, you are a very progressive little young lady. There is research done by, and write this down too, because they want you all to know some of the names of scholars of Carter G. Woodson. Men and women who spent years researching him. So write down Pero Bovey, because I think if you read Pero Bovey's book, that would answer your question. Right, why was he buried in Maryland when he lived in D.C.? Write down Jacqueline Goggin, that's with a G. I just love it when they're taking notes, all trying to win this $500 for this contest. Give it to the team who knows the most about Carter G. Woodson. Okay, so you got Jacqueline Goggin. If you do some research in her book, she may answer that question. Okay, you got that? And write down Tricia Romero. She also did research on Carter G. Woodson's life. And Bernie Morris, I saw at the luncheon recently. The luncheon?
How many more people?
Bernie Morris, and he's at Marshall University. That's going to answer your question. You asked a good question.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Okay, now you have Thurston. There's a book on Carter G. Woodson for young people in this library. And it's called Carter G. Woodson. It's by Richard Thurston. You got that? D-U-R-S-T-E-N. Okay, so that's a start. And I expect you all to read some of this material. Okay.
Could you put up a copy for us? Now, where did you say that birthday party will be?
That's right. It's going to be December 18th, and your name is Jerry, right?
Yes.
December 18th, and I have it right here, 6 o'clock in the Main Street Library. And you know what? I'm so excited. So excited because I'm going to provide some transportation for you all, okay?
Free transportation.
Transportation. Okay, now, Carolyn, you say your name was, you have a question?
Well, I have a statement. Well, my uncle, he works at Howard University.
Yeah?
That's where I plan on going.
Oh my gracious. She plans on attending Howard University. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Carolyn, and your uncle too. I'm so proud of her. Well, you know what? How in the world can I leave out the Howard University time of Carter G. Woodson's life? How can I leave that out? Put this down. Carter G. Woodson in 1922 was a dean, D-E-A-N, at Howard University. Now, you have to remember, he was the only one to have a PhD in Black history on the faculty. He was the only one, and he actually started Howard University's African American History Department. Now, he didn't last for 1 year because he was fired.
Why?
And he was fired. That's another thing. Those 5 books, I told you of all that information in it, you're going to find out the reason why he was fired. And keep in mind, that could take another one act play. But anyway, that was 1922. So you have to remember now, he also wanted to keep control of his journal. And I have copies of the journal here so you all can remember it. He wanted to keep control of his journal. He did not want this journal to be connected with a private university. All right? He wanted to carry it on himself. So this journal, put this down, the title of it is the Journal of African American History. Now, I know they're going to ask you that on the contest, okay? The Journal of African American History, and that was started a year after the association was founded. Now, Colin, remember you mentioned the Association for the Study of African American Life and History? Carter G. Woodson started that in 1915. He started the journal in 1960. Now that journal is still going strong. If you want the latest book reviews, and of course if you join the organization, you'll get 4 free ones with your membership. If you want to keep up with the latest book reviews, if you want to keep up with the latest research, and we're talking about global research. I just read about racial discrimination among World War II soldiers in Ireland, done by a British scholar, and his essay was in the latest edition. So scholars from all the world contribute to this journal. It is the oldest scholarly journal on black history in the United States. It is the oldest, so make sure you put that down. And let me see, do I have any other notes to give you on that? That journal is still going strong.
Excuse me.
With a new editor, Harry Darvoli. Okay, Evan, you have another question?
Yes. Since Dr. Carter G. Woodson done a lot for black history, what has black history done for him?
Good question. Good question. What is black history done for Carter G. Woodson? Good question. Okay, so when you think about it, I don't think Carter G. Woodson would have had a round, fulfilled life had he not embraced that. You have to remember that was his passion. And when it caught on worldwide. The need to study black history, it caught on worldwide, not just a national thing, but black history is also celebrated now in England, you know, in Brazil. You know, it all started with Carter G. Woodson. So I think he was that fulfilled his life. You know, he was married to black history. He didn't need a wife. So that was fulfilling. That fulfilled him. It gave him some esteem. You know, it made him a man. Okay? Now, I know you all have some questions you all want to ask that may be on the contest. That's December 18th. Any questions? Anthony?
Of course.
Can we get someone else?
No. I have to ask.
Anthony, do we have Azaro, you may have a question. Anthony, hold on 1 minute. What about you, Jerry? You may have a question that you may ask on the contest. Any questions?
I can see that.
Wait till I get my money because I'm on.
Your money?
Yeah.
You have to first take place contest. Ask the question of the contest.
You didn't win. You didn't win. It's okay. It's no competition.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Competition. No, it's not competition.
They got a little confused, Tyler. They confused. Now, I asked, what would be a question that may be on the contest that you think may be on the contest that I may not have covered in my review? You know, and all these notes I've been giving you for the last 30 minutes. Evan.
Yes. Yes, thank you very much for picking on me. Yes. Do we have any kids?
Did he have any kids?
Yes. Does he have any kids? You know.
Okay, Evan, I will answer that question. You have to remember, for 75 years, he had 18-hour-a-day workday. 18 hours a day. So he really didn't have any time for what we call being a husband. He made a comment in an interview in the 1930s that he spent $15 on his meals that he ate a lot of times at the Y, and that he had talked with some women, and they spent $15 a week on their little drinks and cigarettes. So he really didn't have time for, you know, that kind of what we call being a husband. Okay, are there any other questions on Carter G. Woodson that you think may be on this contest, that you are taking notes so hard so you can win the $500?
Oh, I have a look.
Dee, do you have a question?
I think I got it.
They have everything. What about you, Caroline?
I have everything.
And this one,
Maybe we can start a Dr. Carter G. Woodson Club right here in this community center.
good idea. Good thinking.
Yeah, you can sponsor it.
Right. Good idea, Alvaro. Well, let me say this. The Hampton Roads Branch meets the second Saturday in the month, 10 o'clock at Hampton University. We meet on the first floor of the library. And what I'm going to do is invite you all, okay? So that wouldn't it be nice if you were invited to the chapters, okay? The Roads chapter. Okay. Now, I see security, yes, we'll be finished in about a couple of minutes, security. I see security give me the signal that our time is almost up. So, do you have any further questions? Now, what I'm going to say is, now, let me ask this question. Now do you see why we call Carter G. Woodson, in a way, he was a vampire of black history?
Yes.
You see?
Of course, yes.
And you see why we should celebrate his birthday?
Yes. It should be a holiday. Yes.
Right. December 19th, 1875. Okay, so now, what I'm going to do is remind you all to keep on studying, and I want to make sure that you remember that it's December 18th, 6 o'clock, Main Street Library, and I'm going to wish you all, this is December, I'm going to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Kwanzaa, okay? And that ends our one-act play. Okay, we're going to ask the cast to take a bow. This is our illustrious cast, all local teams. Okay. We want to thank the Hampton Public Library for allowing us to do this play promoting our father Black history. Right here, this handsome gentleman is Dwayne. And Dwayne, what's your last name, Dwayne? I forgot. Dwayne Payne. And he is a junior at Achievable Dream High School. This beautiful young lady here is Jerry Smith Good, and she is my biological niece, my baby sister's youngest daughter, Jerry Good, and she is a junior at Bethel High School. My beautiful sister, the brainiac, is Carolyn Smith Good, and she is a senior at Bethel High School. Our leading lady, Ebony Giles, is a senior at Bethel High School. My nephew, he played a Zorro in the one I played. He is my biological great-nephew, and he is a junior at Heritage High School. Thank you for being a very attentive audience, and you all can take your seats. Are there further questions?
Yeah, who was the new student?
We were supposed to have a Hampton University.
No, the new student that you
Wayne Payne.
No, the other, the student that came in for a minute and then he had to leave to go back to the moon.
When you said new, actually Dwayne is the newest cast. Okay. Did I answer your question, Dr. Lady?
The monkey man.
Okay, that's my biological nephew, my great nephew.
No, the monkey.
The monkey? Oh, monkey. He knows. Right. We had a whole bunch of animals that died in terms of space exploration. The dog Laika, that's a Russian dog that went up to space. He helped the Russians explore, L-A-I-K-A. I said they had been to his homework with Dr. Lady. He's going to research Enos and Laika, L-A-I-K-A. The little dog who died for space exploration. Okay, any further questions? And also, some people in the audience, their father, the Smith Good girls, that's their father over there, Jerry Good. She named after her father. And their mother, my younger sister, she's in the audience too. That's Carolyn Smith Good. Okay. Somebody else had a question? Yeah.
So you said he was born now it's New Kent County?
New Canton.
New Canton? Not New Kent. Okay.
C-A-N-T-O-N.
Okay.
New Canton in Buckingham County. Any further questions? Yeah. BJ.
How could I become one of your actors?
One of our actors. Oh, yes, Fred, we would love to have you. You could very well be, I'm doing all the reviewing, and a lot of times we could have a second person helping them review. And Fred, you could be the second person helping them to review for this fictional contest. We would love to have you as one of the reviewers, adult reviewers. Okay? Any further questions? Okay, now. Okay, I'm serious, Fred. Yeah, somebody else had a question? Oh, yeah.
Not the chapter. This chapter is about Woodson, or is it just a chapter about Black history?
The Hampton Roads chapter? Good question. The Hampton Roads chapter is about history in general. Yes, trends, global history. Not just the African American history, but history everywhere. Yeah, we're interested in the drought in South Africa. We're interested in why is there civil war still going on in Sudan. You know, global Black history. And the Hampton Roads chapter is one of our newest chapters. And that's our beautiful president over there. Right here, Audrey Williams, she's president of the Hampton Roads chapter.
Let me say something, Margaret. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I want to thank you for coming out here. Margaret has been doing this with her teams for a few years now, and I would have to say that each time it gets better, and we are so thankful that she has taken this upon herself to do this because, you know, it's important that our children know their history, you know, because I'm a firm believer that the reason why there's so much killing and stuff going on now among our young people is because they don't know who they are. They don't, there's no way they could know their history if they haven't killed each other.
Right.
And that's what we try to do as a part of our Hampton Roads Branch. Like Margaret said, we're young. We only got chartered in 2012, but we're a small branch, but we do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And last year we got a lot of awards because of people like Margaret. You know, we don't have a lot of people that, and Brother Ken back there, if I said let's do something, they're right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, so anytime you need something on Black history, just give us a call. We're more than willing to come. You don't have to worry about paying us. Just let us know you want us to come. And we are, I love to talk, so you can call me anytime. Yes.
What other things do you do?
Well, we sponsor programs, we sponsor trips, because the end of April we are going to Harriet Tubman Museum, and we're going to go to the State Park, the National Park, in Woodson, Church Creek, Maryland, and then we're going to leave there and go to Cambridge, where they have a plaque museum, where we take trips, we do programs. Matter of fact, this program tonight is the last of 9 we've had this month of February, which was really just destroyed me. we had, see, my church, First Baptist Church, is an institutional member. We asked institutional members, they paid $250 to become a part of us. And so my church is an institutional member, and we had 7 programs there. We had 1 every Sunday and 3 Tuesdays. And then Monday we were over at Norfolk State with a professor from the University of Ohio looking at Paul Laurence Dunbar. And now we're here. And so next month we'll be doing Women's History Month. We're starting with our church again, and then Margaret is going to do one of the Hampton History Museum. We partner with them, so you know we try to do a lot, and we also do a lot at Hampton University. We do a lot with Hampton University. We have a professor there who gives the students extra credit, and we have a whole bundle sometimes with people, so we try to cover all aspects. Every year the association has a theme, and this year the theme is African Americans in times of war. So we try to capture that, and anything else we can think of. If you come up with ideas, we can fix it for you. We make sure you can get some kind of educational aspect of it. So anything dealing with our history, because our history has been told so incorrectly. And if it's going to be told, it has to be told by us. Because to listen to the other people talk about our history, we didn't exist. We didn't have a language. We didn't have a culture. As far as they're concerned, when they brought us from Africa, they brought ignorant people. But you need to know that in Africa, we had a culture. We had a language. We had science. We had math. We had religion. We had intelligent people. As you look around, I tell people all the time, we're smart people. Because if you think about our history and what we are doing, it's no way we could be done. Because we're still here.
Yeah.
So, that's what
And also, too, speaking of fundraisers, you asked me a question, what do you do? Our president, and she gave a good list of things we do, but we also are trying to find a venue to show a documentary on Josiah Henson. Documentary on Josiah Henson, and we are so happy to have his great, Reverend Robbery, we're so happy to have his great-great-granddaughter sitting right here in the audience. She is the descendant of Josiah Henson.
What about the theater at Fort Monroe?
Right, we have to look into some other places. Yeah, Fort Monroe, I think they may hold more than Down and Gross, because Down and Gross only holds 285 people. Yeah, we're looking for a venue, and we're going to use that as a fundraiser. Josiah Henson, well, you have to remember how Josiah Henson was so mistreated as an enslaved person in the United States that he left and started a city in Canada, Dawn, D-A-W-N, and she is a descendant of Josiah Henson. I love the way she calls him. What do you call him, Marie? Papa. Yeah. Okay, so Yes, Fred, you had a question.
What would the seating capacity of the venue need to be?
We should get as many people as we
No
can.
more than 500. We have it's a license issue that we can show at one time, and we can't have it more than 500 people. So that's what, what the license. If we show it again, we have to pay.
And one thing that Margaret said, that is important that we support each other. And I was in the Buckroad shopping center today, and I looked over next to Family Dollar, and the thrift store has been shut down.